pretty good.
What is it with you kids and anxiety? What is causing all the anxiety?
I think everything. The world, the way
the
that the
world.
world
You don't
is
even-
now, it's, constant,
But
just bad.
it's-
Everywhere
calm
you
down.
look, it's so bad.
You know what?
And it's
I
hard
find
to
this
find
to be
enjoyment in your natural day.
I find this to be a disingenuous argument because your generation doesn't know what's going on in the world. So how can you be that fucking concerned about what's going on in the world? I know what's going on in the world. I should have the anxiety. I follow it. You kids don't follow it. You don't know what the fuck's going on in the world. What are you upset about? What is the world problem?
Definitely things that we know what's going on. Maybe we don't know necessarily always the full story, 100% of the full story. But I think we definitely, we're seeing it, we're hearing it, and we're vocal about it. And all these young kids growing up with this form of social media and media in general, it's like, wow, how long is it going to be before we're just used to it and it's not that bad anymore?
You don't have to be sorry, but I'm not sorry
think
either.
It's funny.
And that is where your anxiety comes from. There is nothing wrong with joking, nothing wrong about that. It's not everybody is that sensitive. Not everybody needs to be that sensitive. Even the people who are doing that, I don't think would need to be offended by that. Everybody is so easily offended. You kids, you wake up offended. You should get off Twitter, get off social media, and maybe you wouldn't have this anxiety, because I don't know if you're really offended or you're just worried that you're going to look offended.
No, I'm 100% offended. When I think about, someone's trauma and the videos that I have seen that are so bad.
But you
All right, guys, so we got to react to this pretty cringe interview here featuring Bill Maher and woke actress Bella Thorne, who is going to get so offended by a comedian, Bill Maher, telling a trans joke that she's going to break down in tears and explain why is it that Bill Maher, as a comedian, can't tell a trans joke. So I want to react to it because I think that videos like this are the perfect encapsulation of how our society has gotten so soft, right? And it really is a shame that you see stuff like this, but hey, this is where we're at. When people are breaking down in tears over a joke about transgender people. It's pretty sad stuff. So I want to talk about it, but before we get into it, we have to have a word from the sponsor of this video, Virtual Shield. How often do you see ads pop up on websites and social media about things that you have talked about? Turns out it's as real and it's as creepy as it sounds. Phone manufacturers have confirmed that your phone listens to you and uses that information and data to build customer marketing profiles to show you relevant ads. Our phones basically come with adware pre-installed. This is why tens of thousands are protecting their privacy with Virtual Shield. Virtual Shield is an all-in-one security suite with their flagship military-grade VPN, identity theft protection, and much more. It offers unlimited bandwidth and device support that allows you to have a seamless and secure browsing experience across all your devices, including computers, phones, tablets, you name it. Plus, it has industry-leading kill switch technology that ensures your data stays encrypted even when the VPN connection drops. Most importantly, Virtual Shield has a no-log policy to help guarantee your online activities stay confidential. Now the best time ever to get Virtual Shield because every new sign-up gets a 60-day risk-free trial, unlimited data across an unlimited number of devices, access to Virtual Shield's 24/7 customer support, and much more. Sign up today for free before this offer ends by going to virtualshield.com/BCP. Once again, that's virtualshield.com/BCP or click the link in the description below.
It doesn't even matter because everybody's switching their sexes constantly. No, I'm not kidding about it. I mean, I'm kidding about that, but people do switch sexes a lot more than they used to. There's a lot of trans, I always see that in the paper about somebody who has switched their sex, which I'm all, if that's what makes you,
Yes.
is that what blows your dress
Bad
up?
bitch all the way.
Who?
Yes. Bad,
Fat, why are we,
bad,
bad bitches.
bad. Be who you are. Yes. Claps.
Right.
Claps. Makes me happy.
I mean, I think there's some money to be made in some sort of exchange with everyone switching where, like, you know, if you need a penis, take a penis. If you have a penis, give a penis. You know, like if people are becoming like men to women, they're going to cut off their penis. And then there are women transitioning who are going to need a penis. I feel like if there was some exchange, maybe Bitcoin could be involved. And you could, you know, no?
Yeah, so here's the thing. Before we get into this woman breaking down in tears, although this is a joke from Bill Maher, which again I found to be pretty funny, there's some truth to what he's saying. I'm not sure if he actually realizes this, but what he's saying is true in regards to, yeah, there is a heavy financial incentive in regards to what we're saying when it comes to surgical transitioning, right? There's a ton of money to be made. Again, there are hospitals that, basically were funding whole units just based off transgender surgeries because of how profitable they are. I mean, you're talking about if they, somebody goes through the whole operation, whether it's a man or woman, you talk about over $100,000 at a very minimum in surgery costs, plus a lifetime of medications and hormones and treatments in order for that person to continue to transition, right? So Bill Maher may be telling a joke, but he's getting at something that I think is part of the reason why we're seeing a lot of this stuff be more normalized in society, is because the medical community, they do have a profit incentive to go along with this and to, normalize it, right? Because the more people that get these surgeries, it's just a whole new market, right? It's a whole new market, and it's a very profitable market. And again, I think that that's kind of the point that Bill Maher is making, even though I'm not sure if that's the exact point that he realized he's making. But yeah, there is a large financial incentive to have this. And what also is a very profitable industry as well too, and we don't talk about this enough, is how as a society we have normalized telling young people that something's wrong with them, right? Every young person, they have something wrong with them. Okay, they're depressed, they got anxiety, they're schizophrenic, they're bipolar, and it's like, there's no way that all of these young people, again, you're essentially living in the greatest time ever to be alive, okay? I think that if there was a time period in which I would pick, okay, what time period do I actually want to live, okay, in terms of quality of life, right? Opportunities, the ability to actually experience the world as a whole, to experience, different things, new things, and be born in America. It's this time period. Okay. But for whatever reason, all these kids got something wrong with them. And I think that part of the reason why is because, again, there's an incentive from a medical perspective financially to tell kids that you have something wrong with you, and then you put them on all these drugs and stuff like that to help fix a problem, when the problem is that they're too soft, right? They're too soft. They have not been raised in a way in which they actually have to deal with real adversity, okay? Which, I mean, again, that's a byproduct of being in the 21st century, where life is as easy as it's ever been before. You don't have to actually hunt your own food. You don't have to actually, fight to survive. You don't have to do any of the things that people had to do traditionally, right? And I think that that's honestly made our society extremely soft. And I think that's why you're seeing a lot of this stuff. I really do. Okay, people think things like telling jokes are traumatizing when, back in the day, people experience real trauma on a daily basis, right? When you're talking about having to, deal with, wars and, hunting food every day and just basic survival and not being killed by some enemy tribe, that to me is real trauma. That's real adversity, right? Like, again, imagine, being some, Native American kid growing up in, the 16th century or something, okay? And you have to deal with tribal wars. Your whole tribe got, killed or something like that by some enemy tribe. That is real trauma, okay? That's real adversity. People went through that stuff. Like, imagine living during the plague, okay? Or living in Europe during World War II. That was actually like real adversity, right? That was like a real tough life. Okay, people went through some crazy stuff back then that they don't go through today, and that's what blows my mind about Generation Z trying to pretend like, well, we got it tougher than everybody that ever lived, right? And it's just not true. Okay, that's why I'm just not for all this boohoo whining and crying and getting offended and traumatized by things like jokes, for example.
I just don't like joking about.
Oh, Bella.
I know
Oh,
that you
Bella.
like to, but I
See,
I
this
don't
is where
think
the
it's
anxiety.
funny.
Oh, for
think
sake,
it's
that
funny.
what a shame. That is where
I'm
you're.
sorry.
That is. You don't have to be sorry, but I'm not
don't
sorry
think it's
either.
funny.
And that is where your anxiety comes from. There is nothing wrong with joking. Nothing wrong about that. It's not everybody is that sensitive. Not everybody needs to be that sensitive. Even the people who are doing that, I don't think would need to be offended by that. Everybody is so easily offended. You kids, you wake up offended. You should get off Twitter, get off social media, and maybe you wouldn't like have this anxiety. This like because I don't know if you're really offended or you're just worried that you're going to look offended.
No, I'm 100% offended. Like when I think about, someone's trauma and the videos that I have seen that are so bad. And
But you
when
can.
people have to worry about walking on the street, just being themselves, that's anxiety. That's why I don't like to joke about it, because someone hears it and on a public platform is so bad, because you're kind of low-key spreading this oh ha 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 ha, and it's it's not funny when your face is being beaten in the floor, and
You know what? You can connect
this shit is,
any bad thing.
Whose face is being beaten in the floor? And by who, right? That's the question that you got to ask, because it sounds like she's making it seem like it is a common thing, okay? It is common in our society in regards to violence being done against trans people. Therefore, we shouldn't be able to make any jokes whatsoever. When there's no evidence whatsoever to back up this idea that there is a widespread genocide or there are widespread acts of violence being done against people just because they're trans. It's not a thing, right? But this is something that people have been made to believe, and look how it has been internalized by some of these woke characters, right? So this woman, who's, I guess, a Hollywood actress, she's in her circle, right? And in her circle, you have to be super liberal, right? You have to go along with whatever the woke agenda is. And, she's been programmed, right, to react this way, right, when hearing a joke about trans people. When, in my opinion, I think stuff like this is exactly how you don't normalize stuff, right? Like, for example, if trans people want to be normalized, right, they want to be just treated like regular people, then you have to be subject to the same things that normal people are subject to, right? Like Bill Maher, as a comedian, like most comedians, makes jokes about everybody, right? So if you're saying that, oh, no, well, we don't want jokes to be made about us, then that basically means that you want to be treated differently. You want to be treated differently than other people. You don't want equality and equal rights if you can't even take a joke, right? Because if you want to be treated like everybody else, then people should better make jokes just like, jokes are made about everybody else, right? That's the thing that blows my mind the most, okay? It's almost as if, again, these people that cry about equality so much aren't really crying about equal rights. What they're crying about are special rights and privileges, right? The right to not, have jokes be made about them. And it again, this is not how you actually normalize yourself. This is not how you gain acceptance, right? Again, it's amazing. And the saddest part about this is the fact that these same tears are the same tears that are weaponized to censor people, right? That's what happens, okay? Because you have people that do buy into this stuff and say, oh, I'm so hurt. My feelings are hurt. I'm so traumatized. You can't make jokes about me, right? And then people, they capitulate to it, okay? People capitulate to it, and then they want to cancel, comedians like Dave Chappelle, okay? They are boohoo whining, protesting in the street about Dave Chappelle and the jokes that he makes about trans people. All this stuff does is it just contributes to more censorship. That's what happens, right? It's just more censorship. This is what they're pushing for.
With any other bad thing.
Of course, there are a lot of bad things.
You know what?
This is one
Mel
that
Brooks did a movie called the producers, and he had a song in it called Springtime for Hitler. If I really tried, I could probably connect Hitler with something sad. But we don't, because that's not how we live. That's not how we can live. Because everything can be connected. Everything can be connected to something sad. And then you'll be sad all your life. And that's why you are sad. And you don't have to be sad. Not everything has to be said. Not everything is sad. Everything could be said. We choose whether to make it sad or not.
You know,
you don't think there's something to that, Terry?
I think when it comes to your own trauma, like, you know, like I make dead dad jokes. Make some people who know me very well super uncomfortable sometimes.
Well,
You're
what
like,
could be more sensitive than that?
But like for your own trauma, like you know, it's, I don't know. I just.
But that's your own trauma, and you're okay with joking. You just said.
Do I think it's really funny if someone's joking about
dead dad joke? Though.
I don't think that one's really funny. That one's not so funny, and that's another trauma of mine. You know, it's like it depends on.
Only one of us is a comedian, so I'm gonna have to pull rank on that. But give me a dead dad joke.
Oh no!
Come on.
No.
You said you were having dead dad jokes.
No, I just like, you know, it's not like I have a literal dead dad joke. It's more like, you know, conversations are being had, and you know, there's an opportunity to, you know, make a dead dad joke, like, you know, and then, you know, you're like,
I mean,
you know, not mine.
It's the way to own it.
Okay, so again, correct me if I'm wrong, but it sounds like this woman is okay with making dead dad jokes, right? But when it comes to making jokes about trans issues, you can't do it because people are traumatized. Amazing. Right? This is leftist logic right here, right? This is leftist logic. I guess that it's okay to make dead dad jokes because nobody is traumatized from that, right? I think that having a dead father is probably one of the most traumatizing things. And I think that actually is much worse. Like, if you're going to not make jokes about things, you might not want to make jokes about people's dead family members, right? I think that is much more traumatizing than whatever trauma she believes that trans people are experiencing on a daily basis, even though I would argue that most of them are probably living, you know, their life. Hopefully they're happy and they're not going through traumatic experiences on a day-to-day basis because, again, this is one of these things that, you know, is basically being made up in this country, right? And, again, it's just fascinating, right? The liberal logic here is just, it's amazing.
It's the way to own it.
Yeah, when you decide to own your, you know, pain is however you decide to own your pain.
But it's like, you're not going to control me with this pain. I'm going to own it. It's like the way African Americans took back the N-word. It was a horrible slur. And then they said, but we're going to own it. You know?
But see, here's the problem with that, Bill. Here's the problem with it. That word has become normalized. And again, because black people also, you know, happen to, you know, have infinity stones of wokeness, right? Claim to be a part of some victimhood group, some oppressed group. They want special rights, right? And one of the special rights is, well, the right for black people to call each other the N-word all day. Doesn't matter what the context is, right? Doesn't matter if you're calling it to somebody in a derogatory way or in a way to hurt that person. Doesn't matter. Black people can do that, right? But if you're white and use the N-word, even if it's in a way in which you're expressing friendship, okay, even if it's in a way that, you know, kind of is in a good way, okay, no, you can't do it. Terrible word. You're a racist, right? So, I don't know, man. I think that our society is just overall way too soft.
And anyway, look, it's good that we can agree to disagree. We don't have to agree on everything. That's what an honest conversation is, you know? But I bet you, like, in 10 years, when I'm dead, and you're here hosting the show, and you're talking to somebody, I don't know where I'm going with this, but I'm just saying, we're all in the process of evolution. Me too.
Yeah. So again, amazing, right? Amazing. A perfect encapsulation of how soft our society has become. Breaking down in tears, crying over a joke. amazing, right? Absolutely amazing stuff. I've never seen anything like it. Again, this is Generation Z, right? This is young people, people that grew up, coddled and sheltered from the world, right? And, they break down because they hear a joke. Again, it's fascinating stuff, right? Fascinating stuff. Let me know what you guys think. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. Most importantly, share a Black conservative perspective. Peace.